Hi there, I'm Jonathan Mintz from Harmonix Music Systems, and we're talking about DropMix.
So talk about what the inspiration was for this game.
So a lot of the joy of DropMix for me came from sort of my love of collecting music and collecting cards and a lot of games that I had played when I was younger. So we had this awesome opportunity to sort of collaborate with Hasbro and turn it into a game where you can actually physically hold cards in your hand. Each card that you hold is a piece of music. You put it on the DropMix board and it sort of comes to life, mixing all the music that you select and turning it into an awesome sort of mix on the fly with lots of artists that you're into.
How has Harmonix background in making video games helped with this new collaboration with Hasbro?
So on the Harmonix side, we sort of developed the software and the gameplay that drives all the music mixing technology and sort of the game rules that if you're playing well, you'll find that the cards that you bring tend to help you sound better. You'll sort of create more interesting, more dynamic musical mixes. And that comes from a lot of the Harmonix DNA, a lot of what we try and represent by letting people work together in Rock Band or create music in games like Rock Band VR. We wanted to sort of bring that new generation of music gaming to life in this physical product. So you're actually creating original mixes as you play and sort of creating really original compositions. And yeah, that's awesome.
What did you learn from working with Hasbro and their experience in board games and multiplayer?
So it was a really awesome collaboration because a lot of Harmonix's games are about the fun that you're having with your friends, whether that's dancing in your living room with Dance Central or all teaming up as a band in Rock Band. So Hasbro was an awesome partner because they do a bunch of face-to-face board gaming, physical games, and so they were totally on board with us as we sort of collaborated with them to design the hardware. So the DropMix board actually sort of has players facing off, trying to dominate the mix with music that they're selecting. And so that gives you this really cool experience where you're sort of looking your friend in the eye as you drop this crazy, Meghan Trainor bass line or something wild like that, blow their music away and play whatever you want to play.
When it comes to the actual game, talk about some of the different gameplay elements.
Sure. So there's two different game modes that we've shown off so far. In Clash mode, you're competing to dominate the mix. So you'd sort of show up with a playlist of music that you were into, and you would try and get your cards onto the board, score points with the cards that you play, knock your opponent's cards out of the mix, and be the one who sort of controls the most of the sound, score the most points to win. And then in party mode, you're all working as a team. So it's sort of a fast-paced music mixing game. You're playing cooperatively. The faster your team responds to requests from the crowds, the more points you're going to get. But you sort of have to know your cards, know what the different bits of music that you have collected are, so that you know what to play in reaction to each request. Score a lot of points. If you do really well, the crowd might even request an encore. So it gives you a couple different ways to play with your music, mix music, and sort of have fun with the whole DropMix music mixing experience.
When you get people together, there'll be people that know certain styles of music more than others. How does that impact the actual gameplay experience?
So one of the things that we really wanted to bring to life with DropMix was the idea that you could create these kind of unexpected connections with music of different styles. So, at Harmonix, we sort of looked at a lot of the fundamental elements of music and sort of made it so that you can grab a bass line from A Tribe Called Quest and drop in a vocal from Carly Rae Jepsen and find these sort of crazy combinations that actually wind up having these really surprising and awesome results. So it's really fun. We find that a lot of people come in and they'll sort of look through the DropMix cards that are available, try and find their favorite music. But what's really cool for me as a big music fan is watching people discover new things or watching something that they never thought they'd be into and suddenly dropping it into a mix, being like, wow, this actually sounds really cool. And you can actually save the mixes that you create when these sort of surprise combinations happen and play them back later.
Historically, Harmonix has worked with a lot of different artists over the years in collaborating and developing these games. Outside of licensing the music, were you guys working with any particular artists?
So, yeah, we used a lot of our relationships that we had developed through Rock Band and through other projects to sort of reach out to artists and labels and sort of invite them and partner with them for this new, it's a really new kind of music game experience. So it's been really awesome to get a bunch of artists, both artists who are sort of very familiar with this kind of sort of music mixing, like Skrillex or folks like that, but then also work with artists like A Tribe Called Quest, like Childish Gambino, or even rock artists like Evanescence and Cake, and sort of be able to do this kind of music mixing with all these different styles, in part because we had built this relationship with them. They were sort of willing to come along with us, and we sort of gave them demos and sort of blew them away with the technology. And so it was really awesome to have those partnerships and get that diverse range of music, because we really wanted whatever kind of music you're into, we really wanted you to be able to find that somewhere in the DropMix collection.
How much different music, songs will there be? I know from buying the pack and then having all these other cards and booster packs out there.
So there'll be a starter pack that's available in September that comes with the board, 60 cards, and the free to download DropMix app that runs on iOS or Android. And then there will be playlist packs. There'll be over 300 cards in total released this year. We hope to release more cards in the future, and that'll be from sort of dozens of different artists, lots of different songs to collect over the course of this year and hopefully beyond.
And the board itself, is it programmable that other game modes can be downloaded or released later down the road?
Yeah, so the app controls all of the game modes. So we've shown off 2 of the game modes so far. We're going to announce more later, and then in the future we'd love to continue expanding that, sort of see what players are into and sort of expand the existing game modes, add new game modes, give them new ways to play with their cards and mix music and play different kinds of games.
And the idea is always to just keep releasing more cards down the road with different music as new music comes out.
Yeah, just like we've done with Rock Band, we really, if somebody gets into a harmonics product, we want to make sure that we continue to support them. So yeah, we'd love to continue to support DropMix with new music, hear back from the fans about what kinds of music, what artists they would love to see in the game, and then continue to expand the library with that, and then bring that to all, any new play modes or anything that we reveal in the future.